Who are you really? You might answer that with your name, but if you had another name, would you be someone else completely? Or just you with another name? Let's put your name to the side. Are you a mother or a father? Surely you are a daughter or a son. You are most certainly an offspring. Does that make you who you are? Or is that your consequential title in the sequence of reproduction? Let's put those titles aside too. Are you a homekeeper, a doctor, a teacher, a waiter? Can't be. Those are things you do. Who are you? What's left when such labels are gone? Some may say, I am a male or I am a female, but those only inform us of what reproductive organs your body was formed with. It's like saying, I am a finger or I am an arm. Doesn't it sound absurd when we put it that way? Isn't it completely illogical that we have been attaching our identities to our reproductive organs, or what role we play in the physical formation of another human? If I put wine in a water glass, it doesn't become water. And similarly, water won't become coffee if I pour it into a coffee mug. So let's put our meat bodies aside too. They are what we wear in this lifetime. What drives the meat and bone vessel? Who is that what? Are we ghosts trapped in meat? Like a possessed steak with dexterous capacities? Isn't that weird to think about? We are animated meat. Meat, blood, and bones put together and capable of not just thought, self-awareness, some of us less than others, and interpretation of our surroundings, but also art, imagination, music, memory, and storytelling. We, whatever we are capable of turning ethereal and invisible thoughts and ideas into artistic objects, music, writing, inventions, and events. Can we take a moment to appreciate that? We consider these abilities as menial and ordinary, but instead, please consider how absolutely unbelievable and awe-inspiring it actually is. I'll say it again more plainly, so we can appreciate it more vividly. We can take invisible thoughts and opinions and turn them into things, words, and sounds that can then be also seen, heard, and felt by others. Isn't that just amazing? Isn't that just incredibly special? And we take it for granted every day. From a toddler's scribble to Da Vinci's Mona Lisa, from a baby's first sounds to Shakespeare's sonnets, from lumpy sandcastles to Notre Dame Cathedral, it's staggering the things we can do and make. And the things we do and make not only create visual, audible, and tactile reactions, but also feelings. We can shape our surroundings, and we can affect the realities of others. So who is driving this meat machinery so capable? Perhaps let us look at the driver's seat, or the cockpit, if you will. The brain. Are we the brain? Or do we just live inside the brain? In the compelling book, The Science of Storytelling, the author, Will Storr, mentions the following facts about the complexities of our brains. It consists of about 86 billion brain cells, also known as neurons, each and every one of them incredibly intricate. He compared each individual one of them to be as complex as a city. Imagine that. 86 billion cities worth of complexity within one single brain. Furthermore, they each send signals to each other at speeds of 120 meters per second. That's almost 394 feet per second. And with this quickness, they travel between 150 to 180,000 kilometers of synaptic wiring. This length could wrap around our planet not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. I've heard say that big things come in small packages, and the brain certainly fits into that category, as well as fitting in the space between 2 cupped hands. Hold your hands out together right now in front of you. Everything you've ever done, every memory you've ever held, for good or for ill, every secret you've ever kept, every feeling you've ever felt, every joy, rage, longing, and contemplation has gone through, been interpreted, and processed by this little pink gelatinous meaty lump in our head cave, just behind our eyes. Everything you've ever experienced has simply and intricately been a result of a tempest of information translated through this organ. Everything our species has ever accomplished is a result of the interpretive work of the brain. So let's consider what the brain, our brain, your brain, is doing. In a short but dense interview for scientificamerican.com with journalist Gareth Cook, the brilliant neuroscientist David Eagleman says the following when talking about his 6-episode series, The Brain, with David Eagleman. Consider the whole beautiful world around you, with all its colors and sounds and smells and textures. Your brain is not directly experiencing any of that. Instead, your brain is locked in a vault of silence and darkness inside your skull. All it ever experiences are electrochemical signals coursing around through its massive jungle of neurons. Those signals are all it has to work with and nothing more. From these signals, it extracts patterns, assigns meaning to them, and creates your subjective experience of the outside world. Your reality is running entirely in a dark theater. Our conscious experience of the outside world is one of the great mysteries of neuroscience. Not only do we not have a theory to explain how private subjective experience emerges from a network of cells, we currently aren't even certain what such a theory would look like. Let's think about that. Locked in a vault of silence and darkness inside your skull. How secluded that sounds. No wonder we believe ourselves the center of the universe. We each experience such an exclusive and intimate version of reality. Have you ever heard a version of the saying, "If a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to hear it, does it make a sound?" Well, no it doesn't. It makes many things, such as a disturbance in the soil, breaking of branches, changes in the air pressure, and also, thusly, vibrations. And what we call sound is merely an interpretation of those vibrations by the sensors in our ears. We could even go as far as to say that it's a type of hallucination. While on the subject of sound, let's consider how other Earth inhabitants use it. Creatures such as whales, dolphins, and bats all have a vastly different interpretation of sound. In a simple definition, we can conclusively say that they can see sound. What is their existence like? When it comes to sight, so many animals have night vision, while others, like bees, can see ultraviolet light. And even the humble dung beetle can see polarized light, which helps to guide them through their journeys. Scientists honestly have only the limited ability of guessing as to what this might look like, theorizing that dung beetles and other critters are seeing polarized light as wide bands that stretch across the sky. How much of reality is out there that we can't see, and consequently it simply does not exist to us? For example, does dark matter look like something and we simply don't have the corporal equipment to see it? Is our brain like a radio, tuned only to one station? And though a variety of songs and stories are happening in the other stations floating around us, we can only tune in and perceive our one solitary station. Some synesthetic people can see sound as visible colors. Is this part of the truth of reality? And we, the masses, just can't participate in that experience because we are the ones who are ill-equipped? Lacking? While those with synesthesia are experiencing the full spectrum of sound both as noise and sight? It reminds me of the book, The Giver, by Lois, Lowry. In the story, everyone sees in black and white, when suddenly the protagonist sees the red of an apple. How does he explain this color? He himself, never having had experienced it, doesn't have the vocabulary for it. How do you explain something that there is no word for yet? If you were the first one to see the color red, how would you describe it to your black and white seeing community, who has no idea the colors exist? And how would you convey it in a way that accurately depicts to them something they have never seen before? How limited we are. I think of this often. My partner is colorblind, and often I try to explain to him what it is that I see. And it's a peculiar feeling to know that I can never see the world as he does, nor he as I do. Never. But, in many ways, this happens all the time with everyone. Just perhaps not with color, but other things. Most of all, with things that are not things, like feelings. How do you tell someone how your specific heartbreak feels? Or the overflowing love a mother feels for her child? The explosive force of anger against injustice? The unattainable feeling of reaching that comes with helplessness? The softness and grandeur of the joy in waking up next to someone you love? The inexplicable simultaneous existence of both weight and emptiness upon the loss of a loved one. Perhaps this is why we invented poetry. No one word can hold the expanse of these sentiments. Yet, regardless of our limitations, we have so much available for us to experience. How intricate everything is. And now that we have settled that we are all experiencing completely different things when looking at an object or participating in a situation together, we must address a common complication in our interpretation of reality. Isn't it completely ludicrous that we try to force our individual interpretations of reality upon each other? In a myriad of ways, from religion to law to morality, to what should be acceptable and what should be shameful. I understand that I am many different characters to everyone I meet. To some, I am a villain, a delinquent even. To others, I am an example of Christianity, despite my lack of religious commitment. To my old neighbors in the Bible Belt of the United States, I was a heathen in need of conversion. To the family of the girl I sponsored in Tanzania, I was an angel of charity. To my ex-best friend, I am selfish and arrogant. To my partner, I am the light of heaven on earth, all that is beautiful and good embodied in one person. To my ex, no woman more stupid, wrong, and wayward has ever existed before me or since. A Jezebel. To my best friend, I am kind, brave, and insightful. To those who pass me on the street, I am nothing. Just an NPC in their story, where they are the main character. Which one is the real me? Does it matter? Does the real me even exist? Am I any one of those descriptions? Am I all of them at once? Let's use a personal example to analyze this phenomenon of character interpretation. My daughter got a peculiar haircut recently. It's a haircut she really wanted. I think it looks novel and beautiful, but a couple of boys at school said it looked badly, and one of her close family members said she looked like a Boy Scout, and if she didn't want to be picked on, she should simply grow it out and conform to something less noticeable, and consequently, she would not get picked on by others. But I told her no. Such people have a habit of negative interpretation, and that has nothing to do with her. If her hair was their definition of perfect, they would have found another flaw upon her. Perhaps her clothes, her backpack, her eye color, the way she speaks. Who knows? People who want to see flaws will, and people who want to see beauty will. And that's none of our business. It is her body, her vessel, her avatar, and she should adorn it as she sees fit. After all, she is the one who has to be within it all the time. Why should she make herself uncomfortable to appease those boys for the 30 seconds they acknowledge her during recess, or the few hours a year she shares with that family member? As long as she is not hurting anyone or threatening their existence, the rest is not her problem. How she sees herself should be the only opinion that matters in her reality. So why do we care what others think of us? No one will ever know who we truly are. Many do not truly know themselves. And is that even possible to do? We are ever changing. Every day something molds us, sometimes quietly and in small ways, sometimes like an explosion, either of confetti or of dynamite. But we are shaped every day. Can anyone ever keep track of it all? It's like cupping a handful of water from a river within our palms and saying, "This is the river." But then watch the rest of the current flow by, trying to define the expanse of so much water by the handful. You are magnanimous all the time. What a wonder you are, a mystery within meat, blood, and bones, a conglomeration of a society of organs, cells, enzymes, neurons, and so much more. All of them working in perfect harmony to keep the river that you are flowing, every day, all the time. How peculiar it all is. How truly magical. How does our meat contain our essence, our soul? Can we reach out beyond it? Can the me inside of the meat stretch beyond the fingertips? How am I kept within? How do we not leak out? It's all so bizarre. And here we have so much miracle within ourselves. Not to even get started on the miracle that is everything beyond ourselves that works just right to keep our delicate existence in continuation. From the air we breathe, to the cycle of the seasons, to our solar system, our galaxy, and the entirety of the universe. It's all delicately, grandly existing, just perfectly right to have made today happen, to have made this moment right now happen. How beautiful, how improbable it all is, and yet, here we are. But what is even more astounding to me is how we wake up miraculously, make breakfast miraculously, digest it miraculously, move our limbs, go to and fro, go to work, create things, affect each other, our surroundings, everything a miracle. And we don't treat it as such. We don't even realize it. Politicians make irrational and selfish laws upon the people, miraculous people. Wars are waged, snuffing out miraculous life inside of miraculous beings. People fight and shoot each other, miraculous killers and miraculous victims. We say words of hurt to each other, not seeing the miracle within the ones we speak to, or within our own selves. How dare they? How dare we? Why? Why have we forgotten the miracle that we are? That it all is? Why do we go around throwing our ingratitude at each other and at ourselves? Celebrate. Every breath and every moment a celebration. Why is that not the headlines? Why is that not priority? Why do those who have so much allow the miracle of the hungry innocent to continue? Why do fathers and mothers who have the power of peace instead choose the power of war upon the powerless innocents? How dare us all? I will not ask you to like, to comment, or to subscribe. Instead, I beg you to please today, if only just once, treat yourself like the miracle that you are. Then again, if only just once, try to at least see the miracle that someone else is, whether friend or foe. We're all a spark of the same great flame. The only difference is how we have been conditioned to interpret the mysterious signals all around us. Can we help each other relearn to see and understand the miracle that we are? We can no longer wait for heroes, presidents, or messiahs. You are all the power of the universe combined. Everything that has ever happened resulted in you. Right now, look at you, you beautiful being. Why have you forgotten that you are the hero of your story, of many stories? You have the power to change this. You are just one, but remember how incredible just one you is. You can make a difference. Please don't forget, miraculous, miraculous you are. You don't have to build pyramids. You don't have to stop wars. You don't have to change everything alone. You just have to remember how incredible your existence is. How many ancestors survived for you to be here right now? How many asteroids and catastrophes our planet had to avert for your existence to be possible? Rejoice. Celebrate. You cannot reach the whole world, but you can reach those around you. Celebrate them. Celebrate with them. And then they can reach those around them. And eventually, perhaps, we can create a web that reaches everyone in an embrace of acceptance, of help, of love, and of remembering. So all I ask is that you please remember and remind at least one person every day of how special they are. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making it till today, every day. We are the saviors. We are the heroes. Open your eyes to everything. Remember,